Debra is so grounded and kind and empathic and a great listener and such a cool person. Just having a conversation with her is a really special experience. And then if you're also digging even an inch into that work of finding some of those same qualities that you get from her in yourself and feeling like, oh, I can use these things and I can maybe find out something new about myself. It's scary, but in the best way and in a way that is really exciting and can open up new vistas of thought and perspective. I am a real believer in connecting with people and being curious, and I think there's no reason not to explore the perspective that Debra is offering and the work that she is offering as a vessel for work that you can do and already have. She's not giving you anything but permission to explore yourself and do your own internal work. And I think it's so special to meet and work with someone who will give you that permission with such confidence and such love and such trust in it being life-changing. I feel helps me access this internal work much more easily and effectively, even from our first intuitive guidance session to the one we did within the Moon Magic program. I noticed such a difference in the depth to which I was able to explore and the clarity to which she was able to communicate what she was getting and feeling, so that the messages and work I got from that session felt like a bigger expansion of an exploration of work that had kind of been little seedlings when we had done our first intuitive guidance session. So it just keeps expanding, and that's Deb. I'm continuing to work with her. Keeps that muscle alive. It helps to remind me to keep practicing, and it continues to open things up that I think for me, one and done might not have done as beautifully as continuing to work with her has. She was so quickly able to name and clarify the sort of miasma of what I was experiencing in the middle of the program, in addition to my own personal stuff, and then to relate it back to the work we were doing within Moon Magic and relate it back to how I could use that work to come back to myself. And that felt like a really big aha moment, because I started to see how my own personal cycles, internal cycles, for lack of maybe a better phrase, were lining up with the work that we were doing in Moon Magic. And that made me feel a lot more empowered to work on it and to try to do some of that healing work on my own, because I could line it up with what we were learning about. What's amazing about somebody that's an intuitive and a magical guide is having them also be someone who's so honest and so forthright in their work about how your magic is your magic and nobody else can access it or use it the same way you can. So if you didn't do the work a certain way, or you didn't follow these specific guidelines or rules, that doesn't mean you're wrong. It means that that was what was right for you in that moment. And I think that understanding of, oh, I'm enough, what I have is enough, and it's about me. It's not about me asking somebody else for answers or trying to get it right in like a student way or in a follower way. I am my own leader in that capacity. And I do have this same stuff that she's using inside of me, and how I use it is the most important thing, and it's actually the right thing versus using it the way that somebody else tells you to, or someone saying, I'm the only one that can give you these answers and help you figure it out. And that was a big aha for me, both in terms of working with Deb, but also in terms of just understanding my own work and self. Having someone who helps you come back to yourself and come back to your own knowing and empowers you to feel like you're capable of owning that power and using it, practicing it in a way that feels good for you is very special and actually very rare. And so I think the biggest change is just sort of the awakening of that knowledge, or the remembering of that knowledge that, oh, I can follow my own rhythm, and the moon and nature and things around me are reflecting that rhythm back, and I can be in tune with those, or I cannot. I'm allowed to turn that off too. But that I have the ability to and am empowered to access all that wonderful, juicy magic stuff in my own self, and then go forth with it and use it and let it develop and build and evolve as time goes on, that is a change that I can feel and name, and that I think is difficult to articulate only because I think it's the sort of ripples of it are perhaps further reaching than I even know right now. But I do think I can say with confidence that the ripples are there, and that I will continue to discover the ways in which those manifest for me in life. I think it's easy to think of spiritual work or work that uses magic in its title as being kind of heady or sort of ephemeral. And I think working with Deb is a very grounded experience and a really interesting chance to get to know yourself a little better, which also surprised me. It wasn't just about working with her and understanding what she does and getting answers from her as much as it was about figuring out more about myself and becoming more connected with my own internal magic and my own internal intuitive. I love magic stuff, and anything that's even remotely witchy, I'm very into. So I reached out to her about going to that new moon circle and went to a couple of those, just because I felt compelled to work with her and to understand more of what she did. As soon as I found out she had this other element to her work and to her business, I was really excited about it. So I did a couple of new moon circles, and then I booked an oracle session with her in hopes of getting to know her more as an intuitive and magic guide. And that really hooked me.